All right, we'll see how loud this gets. As I had said last time we met, I also come again bearing no RPGs, grenades, or other ordnance. So.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I know, right?
Do not move from here.
I'm not going to. Hey, calm down. Just relax, okay? Jeez.
That's a good personality to put behind a mask. I appreciate that.
Well,
sometimes it's hard communicating that way, but you're just very thoughtful in what you say. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And this is a pedestrian path. That's for vehicles only. That has nothing to do with coming on site. I'm not going to argue with you. Hey everyone, I have a rather interesting story where two local fire departments in the county of Kitsap, the Bainbridge Island Fire Department and the Kitsap County Fire District number 18, have both been caught out of compliance with state law by not having a public records index or a resolution exempting them from it. The districts are required to have one or the other and have elected to do neither. This means that the Bainbridge Island Fire District has been out of compliance since 1973, a total of 52 years. Over a half a century. The Kitsap Fire District was reconstituted as District 18 in November of 1999, and as such has been out of compliance since then for a total of 25 and a half years itself. For those of you new to my channel and the kinds of stories I work on, I largely focus on government transparency with an aim at the Public Records Act in Washington State, the Open Meetings Act, among other topics. This is an unusual situation where two districts are 100% out of compliance, making the people the real victim here by making a highly valuable tool unavailable to the public, though it is required by state law. I have already proven with my Washington State Healthcare Authority's story here the value of the Public Records Index, which is 100% on display. This could help solve reduced budgets for agencies for public records while producing greater efficacy as well. Now, let's check out this story together. Hey everyone, I am free. It is May 23rd, 2025. I am in the city of Poulsbo here in Kitsap County in the Communist Empire of Washington State, heading on over to the Kitsap County Fire Department number 18 headquarters here in Poulsbo. It's got a long history, as one might imagine, with a town of this age in the area. I'm going there because of some recent stories having elicited interest by locals to see if the Kitsap County Fire Department number 18 has its index, because they'd like to look through and actually find records they're interested in seeing without going through every single record or playing what's the name of that document when they could just reference it by the index. A categorized listing of all of the things found in subsections 3A through F in Section 70 of the Public Records Act. So we're going to go on over there and see if they are in compliance with that, get a little B-roll footage while we're there, and see if there's any merit to whether or not they do or do not possess that. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
Not too shabby. I am looking to see if I can inspect your resolution.
Resolution 4?
The index.
Okay, sure. Let me go ahead and see if I can get someone to help you with that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So this is Deputy Chief Anderson.
How are you, sir?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
My name's Shane, and I will do my best to answer your questions.
Yeah, no sweat.
Did you want to go into the small conference room, or would you prefer to do it right here?
No, here's fine. I just wanted to inspect the resolution.
Oh, the resolution, and this is for
The records index.
the records index that goes back to the 70s. So I can tell you that we are having it, it's currently being legal reviewed to have us exempt from that for undue hardship, to go back and look at that. So legal's looking at it, so we're having to ask lawyers to take a look at that. We're waiting to get that information back currently so that we can give it to our Board of Commissioners so that they can make a decision on that.
Gotcha.
That's the best information I have in trying to, honestly answer your question. That is where we're at.
No, hey, I appreciate the honesty. I mean, I get a lot of places that'll just lie to my face. So I appreciate you not lying to my face. I'm not saying you would.
No.
But I got a question then in that regard.
I will do my best, as long as I can phone a friend.
Is Brian Snewer your lawyer?
That we have several that we work with. SNR is one of the groups that we use. Yes,
Not
sir.
surprising, yeah. So for the records index, when did you guys start talking about that? Basically saying, hey, like a ballpark. I mean, it doesn't have to be like March 19th. Or just,
No.
Was it this year? Was it last year? 5 years ago?
Miss Chrissy, do you know how long ago it was that we?
We've only recently become aware of it, so I would say within the last.
Or are you Carissa Robideau? Or is it Robideau?
Yeah. It sounds like from when we became aware of it and started working on it, it has only been over about the last month or so.
This is worth pointing out here, as there has been a bevy of municipal law attorneys, such as Brian Sneor, who have been working with districts, municipalities, etc., to come into compliance with the Washington State Public Records Act. This right here goes to show the extent of the problem with the state largely being out of compliance at most levels of government. This is one of many reasons as to why we do not have reasonable and appropriate transparency in our state. Governmental agencies at every level are simply not looking into their obligations to the people by reading through the Records Act fully. To be clear, this is not to lambaste solely the Kitsap County Fire Protection District number 18 as some rogue team of anti-transparency agencies in the state. There is nothing rogue about this. This is the normal for all levels of government in Washington state. The most incalcitrant, flagrant lawbreaker is sitting in the governor's mansion right now. Bobby Ferguson, overlord of the criminal empire of Washington state's government, gazes out with the eye of Sauron upon what he has sown himself, a mismanaged state that has had with intention fools such as himself and Jay Inslee running this ship aground at high speed. You and your crony criminal friends are the most to blame here, Bobby. We know what rolls downhill, and you rolled about 800 million Keurics to begin with, Bobby. Okay, gotcha. So in that regard, I mean, obviously there's supposed to be one. So in the light of the fact that there is no exemption, are you guys doing the calculus right now to determine the actual undue burden? Because this may be a great opportunity for the district to do it right. And I don't mean to sound presumptuous or mean-spirited, but a lot of places have done it very incorrectly. So the statute says if you're going to exempt yourself, which certainly you can as a local agency, you just have to issue and publish that formal order, which sounds like that's what the board's working on. But what are the undue burdens that you guys are claiming exist?
I think
We're still compiling that.
I think that's why
information.
we're asking the question about, because that goes back to the 70s, correct? Yeah.
Well, it goes back to 72. The original, and I know you guys are old, so I mean, the district, not you two.
Well, no, unfortunately, that's why it's
You're like,
so
actually,
much.
you are mean-spirited. Please leave.
No, yeah.
So I know it goes back to 72, but it changed in 1990, and I think that's really the original start date because they delineated between state and local agencies at that point. So regardless of whether it's 35 or 53 years, or 38 or 53 years, the question I've got is also not only what that is, which sounds like you got legal looking at it. Are you guys actually like sitting down, for example, since you're the PRO, right? Are you guys sitting down and saying, here's what it would be, and this is what it would take to get this accomplished? Because one of the common things
As opposed to trying to find
Yeah, 'cause what I'd like
way
to see-
exempt yourself from it.
Yeah, so I'm sure you guys probably heard of me. That's why this is happening with Brian.
Careful, it's not on that. There you go.
Thanks. So one of the things I'd like to show you if I could, so maybe it'll help you guys avoid
Well,
a problem.
and probably at a minimum, ask better questions,
Yeah,
if
so
that
look
makes
at this
sense.
from this
Everything's
school
already
district
done.
here.
Okay, no problem.
North Kitsap School District.
Okay.
I just went there today to work on a somewhat related story, somewhat not related story. And if you look where it says, right here on the third, talks about the undue burdens.
Attempting to maintain a current index. Okay.
The thing, and you're clearly an articulate, intelligent person here. I mean, anybody who can
Just
see
old.
this impracticable and ultimately interfering, that's the most vague third grade language somebody could actually put in there. So I don't know if they had like a Rule 9 intern when they had this done, but the problem is it needs to be specific. But additionally, the second clause in the statute says
Right.
you must also describe the extent of the undue burden. So hypothetically, and I'll give you an example, poor Carissa's like, my gosh, I don't want to do this. This is terrible. This index is going to be so much work. It would take me 3 more full-time employees, hypothetically, to do this. And here's how I'm justifying that claim. Again, hypothetically, I'm not trying to put words in her mouth. But no one does that. And the problem is now these agencies that are not doing this correctly, the only option is to take this.
Just wholeheartedly with a vague exemption is what you're saying.
Well, it requires, the state legislature requires them to actually prove, that's the extent part. They have to prove that there's an undue burden. They can't just simply claim it and be like, well, you know, there's stuff happening and I'm busy. I got a couple burritos in the fridge. I got to heat them up and other stuff, right? They're not allowed to just sort of get out of it by claiming vague stuff.
Yeah.
And now I know there's going to be, for some smaller places, don't take this the wrong way, but for some smaller places I've encountered where I'm trying to get additional records and the index would actually assist me in getting them, the only option for me now is just to take them through the civil process to court. I don't want to do that, but now because they're being incalcitrant, I'm compelled to do it. I'm not trying to say this with you guys. I'm just saying you guys could actually do it right.
What I like about this, though, is not being terribly familiar with this process.
Sure.
And that's why we lean on legal to handle these sorts of things. I can ask better questions of the process and try to address some of those things and ask, well, if we are doing this, where exactly is that? And of course, for us, it's record keeping, it's access, it's all those things. But to be more specific with SNR when we're talking to them, you said that you want to leave an email with the first.
Yeah, and then if I could just leave the perfect, I'll just fill that out.
And then, do you have something that you can put his email address? Or does that require an email? Oh, so we'll have it all on one form. Perfect.
We ready to go?
Okay, so this will be pretty straightforward. Now, if you guys want, I totally understand. You guys have already said you don't have this. If you just want to, because you can by statute, you don't have to do the 5 days. If you want to say, yes, we don't have it, and hand me some document now that says we don't have it, totally fine, because my understanding is you don't have it. There's no requirement to wait the 5 days.
Yep.
Then that works too. You would literally defeat the healthcare authority with the 10-minute public records request. Now that alone right there,
The competition
that
sounds
right
inviting,
there, you
certainly.
should be like, I am going to smite the healthcare authority. I am now the #1 public records officer in the universe. Smoot, right?
That is tempting.
Okay, there is that. My email address is there.
Okay.
Like I said, if you want, I know you guys have already said it, if you want to do that, you not only get the record for Washington State, but it's just affirming what you've already said. So do you want to hand me something back now that says you don't have it? Because as far as I know, you don't have it.
Yeah, we can certainly put it in an email, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, if you want, just because I love competition, I'm so competitive, if you want to just rip that out real quick, I will do this real time watching you do it, and then when I post this story, I'll be like, here is the fire district smiting the healthcare authority. Do it! Competition's great! Take them out.
Write this, because I'm telling you, I need to ask. I mean, I think I know what the answer is. I just
We'll put it in email.
Okay.
But
the limb just seems thin, though I know that it's not.
Okay.
So
All right, fair enough.
I appreciate you, and
Sure.
I appreciate your.
Nice to meet you, Carissa.
You as well, Steve, right?
Yeah.
That's a good personality to put behind a mask. I appreciate that.
Well-
Sometimes it's hard communicating that
Yeah.
way, but you're just very thoughtful in what you say. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You guys have a good day.
Okay.
Okay?
Have a good weekend.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, if you guys decide to smash it out, just timestamp it.
Okay.
Because I will march that down to healthcare authority and be like, you guys got wrecked.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Hello. Board meeting's at 4, right?
Yes.
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Yeah, it'll be right in here. I'm just prepping for it, so I'll come. Are you gonna come join our meeting?
Yeah, where do I go for it?
Just wait right here. We're getting ready to open our small boardroom.
Oh, it's just around the corner.
Yeah, it's in a locked area. So
Okay.
I'll bring you in.
Cool, thanks.
Public comment, we do have a person here from the public. If you would like to make a statement, you have 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. I recently came to examine the records index on May 23rd, 2025, and discovered that it did not exist, nor was a resolution in place exempting the district from having it. per RCW 425670 subsection 4A. The district is a unique option in that it has not yet passed the resolution. I believe the district may have been given advice that reads something along the lines of, quote, "It has been determined that maintaining a central index of records is unduly burdensome, costly, and would interfere with district operations due to the number and complexity of records generated as a result of the wide range of district activities." I caution the district that RCW 425674A requires two things: a listing of the undue burdens and a description of the extent of the undue burdens. If the extent of the undue burdens is not present and has not been accounted for, it's not a lawful resolution for exemption from the Records Act. Additionally, the Public Records Act in 4256 subsection 100 requires agencies to, quote, "protect records from damage or disorganization," which is clearly the case since indices required to be created and maintained have never been, nor has there ever been a resolution exempting it from that. Therefore, I'm on the record submitting a public records request for the analysis conducted identifying the extent of the undue burdens identified in the resolution. Would also like to see what is present at the implementation of any resolution that may come by today, indicating the extent of the undue burdens. Finally, I'd like to offer a polite suggestion to the district in knowing what I just shared, that the district reconsider any resolution in the near future. If the district's counsel is wrong in any potential advice that it's been given, any suit that may be brought against the district for violating the Records Act, the district won't be able to claim ignorance on. We're all smart people here. It doesn't take a law degree to understand what a noun is, specifically the word extent, as it's used in the Public Records Act. The elected commissioners know what that is, and I think lawyers don't have to burden you with a whole bunch of legal jibber jabber to make sense of something that we all learned when we were just in school. So I'd politely again request that the district reconsider any resolution either tonight or in the near future for exempting itself from the Public Records Act index requirement.
May I have your name for the record? Or what you would like to go by for this?
Yeah, so I'm good with giving my pen name for work, which is Steve.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one. Thank you.
We are down then to Public Records Index under discussion items.
All right, I'll just introduce that. As the gentleman articulated very well, we have not created our Public Records Index yet. It is something that we know that we need to do, or we need to account for the Public Records Index. So we have been going through for several months. Carissa has been going through a detailed analysis of what it would take to create a public index. We had talked about this in our last meeting that this was coming. This is now Carissa's opportunity now to present her findings of her analysis of creating a public records index. So that's where we are right now, and just considering that.
Okay, so you will have received in your board packet a worksheet and description of records broken down into physical records, electronic records, and then further broken down in more detail. It details a large number of records, taking into account salary, time, and so forth to index those records properly. The estimated cost to process would be $5.9 million and some change, annually $730,000 and some change. It's for the board to review if you feel this would be an undue burden to the district to index these items. Then the next option to discuss would be resolution noting the undue burden as allowed by the RCW. But it's for your consideration.
So can I ask a clarifying question? So it's your analysis that it would take $5.9 million to accurately index all of our existing public records going back to the 1970s. And then the ongoing cost would be about $730,000. I'm assuming that's equivalent to about 4 or 5 FTEs to maintain the public index to meet the RCW. Is that accurate?
That's a good summary.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Steve, I believe you have, in regards to your public record request that you made, you had requested the data supporting.
Yeah.
And I believe Nicole has supplied you with that. If there's anything you feel that's lacking in there, though, otherwise I think that beats your record, as we had talked before about the fastest public records return.
Almost.
So-
Only, yeah. Yeah, almost. It was
Okay.
only the healthcare authority that beat that out.
Okay, but already in your hand.
We want to make a motion to the effect that it be an undue, whatever we can call it, on the district to follow that.
So can I offer, it's probably for the board to consider right now. With that, we can provide more information for the board to make that decision. The board can give us direction to come back with a plan to implement the public records, how we would implement the, I don't have it broken down to the number of FTEs that would take to bring us up to speed. The board can give us direction to come back with a plan to meet that, or the board can give us direction to draft a resolution to adopt the exception to the Public Records Index. So we can take any direction from the board. I don't think there's a decision that needs to be made tonight to approve or accept anything, but just give direction to staff on how you'd like to proceed.
Any commissioner comments?
I'm not sure, I'm still trying to digest all this stuff. It's quite a package.
Can I offer, Chris, in your analysis, are there any fire districts that are that have gone through and created the public index through the RCW?
None that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Dave, you got a comment?
Well, I'm thinking that we've been given a very high-level brief. It's like at the 50,000-foot level as to what this all entails, and I think we need some more information before we can decide whether we're going to try to find an exception to this, create a resolution in that regard, or take some further action as required. And I know that the state fire commissioners are also looking into this, and I'm waiting to hear back from them as well.
Okay.
So
Do we want to postpone this till the next meeting?
I think we can maybe direct the chief to provide some additional information on what that implementation plan would look like and what it would take to create that index and maintain it for those years.
Okay. The only thing I would just advise, again, we don't need to make the decision at this meeting. We are a little bit on a time crunch because we're not meeting the RCW right now, and this is trying to get us to meet the RCW. So we do want to move forward with either the exemption or a plan to implement fairly quickly so we can get compliant. So more than happy to bring back more information. I just want to make sure that we know that
Where
there's
are we on the
some
timeline? How much time do we have?
I believe that we should have this in place now, so we are behind the curve. So this is us trying to catch up. My opinion on this is that we should be diligent and make sure we take the right course of action. That's more important than rushing into it. This just isn't something that we have a lot of discretionary time on.
Okay. Do we have time between now and the next meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we don't need a special meeting or anything like that?
No. Could you, and I don't know if you want to do it now, or, but provide me just detailed as to exactly what information you're looking for, just to make sure that I can go back to the next meeting, prepare and give you all the information you need.
Okay.
I know it's a lot to just off the hip exactly what you're looking for, but I just want to make sure that we're getting that for the next board meeting.
Is this something that should be reviewed by our attorney?
We could easily have Brian take a look at it. I also would like to touch base with our peers to make sure that we're taking a similar course of action to what those fire districts are doing.
So
sure
Brian hasn't seen this,
the analysis,
the
no.
analysis as of yet.
But he has given us a lot of direction
Yeah, I understand
on
that.
how to go about this.
Yeah.
And I would give a lot of credit to both Carissa and Nicole. Nicole brought this up to us a couple of months ago that initiated this analysis, and then the extensive work that Chris has been doing to get us this information so we can get into compliance.
And would you say since 1978?
73?
93.
Yeah, that's what's in my head because I was born, so.
And maybe just real quick, Carissa, would you like to kind of, I mean, I know there's a lot here, but maybe tell them what we did to get this information, what you physically, maybe just to give a background of how we received these numbers.
Yeah, we have, particularly with the digital records, digital records are held in a lot of different databases. So the ESO system, it's coordinating with a lot of people in the departments who hold different records and being able to pull those numbers to see exactly what values we have. in there, working with finance, working with deputy fire marshal, with battalion chief Frault, our IT as well, to really kind of compile these numbers. So it's a lot out there. And then of course physical records as well. You're using measurements and boxes in the records room to try to properly quantify what you have. But it's a lot. We produce a lot of paperwork, and especially over the timeline we're looking at. So
is this a factor or not? During that time period, this was not a whole district. We were providing services to the city of Paulsville, but the city was not in the district.
Right. We do still have records that go back to 1958 in terms of board minutes and things. So those have carried through with us during our evolution of being part of the city, and then fire district.
I guess the point I'm trying to get to is maybe some of these records is something that the city may have or may not have.
These records that she found, just period, the records we have to be able to create an index to meet the intent of the RCW is what we have now.
So I physically went up to inspect. Yeah.
The county does have their own records before we merged. They also would have their own records, which I would assume would be their own index if they meet that RCW. But for us specifically, it's what records do we have in all our databases, what records do we physically have upstairs, and then to go through them to find out if they meet the intent of the index. So we'd go through each one.
So if I'm understanding this correctly, if they're not in a database, then we don't have to worry about those records that may not be in a database?
No, the physical records are included in the index as well. They would have to be gone through individually.
Just the ones that are kept within the county is the county's
Okay.
records, not our records. We're just talking about the records we currently have physically and electronically in our systems that we went through to measure how we would be able to meet the intent of the RCW.
Commissioners have any questions?
By all means, whatever more information we can create for the next board meeting, please let me know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Krista.
Thanks, Chris.
That's all in the public records index.
I noticed the single variable input was man hours. For doing
I'm
this.
taking your word on it because they had me on another project and
Yeah,
I
sure.
hadn't seen, just so you know, I hadn't
no
seen
problem.
any of that, but that makes sense.
But one thing that I think could, by orders of magnitude, reduce the cost, many orders of magnitude, would be using a scanning service and then using the AI system Claude. So, when you look at it, I obviously, when you're taking into account having humans go through it, it's going to be more expensive, but you have all the labor inputs that would no longer be an issue if you had AI and also a scanning service look at that.
Out of curiosity, does the Enterprise of Claude, can it interpret handwritten?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, if it could do handprint or cursive.
And anything prior to
interpretation.
1973 also it doesn't have to be indexed.
Okay.
And also the other thing I wanted to just put in there is one of the common misnomers about the index is that it is all documents that need to be indexed. It's not. I looked at that number for how much it would cost per year. I'm struggling with how it would be $739,000 a year.
Do you have it?
No, I just haven't committed to memory.
Oh no, I didn't get a handout at the end of the table.
Oh, I just recalling from when I was reading it before, but it's the annual maintenance seems a bit high. So anyways, I just wanted to throw out there, maybe consider the option of a scanning service to get the initial scan done and then have artificial intelligence just interpret it.
I will pass it along, but also I just wanted to remind you too that Chief Gillard, his door is always open. If you feel like you need to go to him, I will pass the message on.
Cool.
But if you want to, his door is open for you to come in and have conversation if you wanted to share that idea in person too.
Cool.
Yeah, he enjoyed meeting you.
I wasn't sure how long it was going to take in there and all that kind of stuff.
It's probably going to go till about 6:30.
Yeah, I kind of figured. So I figured I'd just let you know and, I got some good information in there, what you guys were doing and all that.
Okay.
So.
Then I will make sure that I pass that on.
Cool.
Because I think it's reasonable to consider all of that stuff
Yeah.
And you could tell though the board wanted to know though too.
Yeah.
They weren't just saying, okay, it's gonna cost too much, we're not doing it. Commissioner Ellingson even said, I want more information, so I will make sure that this gets off.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's it for me working here today. So I'm going to be calling it quits here for the day and heading home. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that all notifications bell so you get my stories right in the release. You can follow me on X at I.A.M Free Auditing, on Facebook at Inland Auditing Media. And if you want to help keep my feet on the streets, you guys know what to do. You can go to the links in the description for Cash App and Venmo. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you later. Good night. Hey everyone, I am free. It is May 23rd, 2025. Beautiful day out here on Bainbridge Island. I am in the county of Kitsap here in the Communist Empire of Washington State. Now, I've been having a lot of new people to the channel lately saying, Steve, you seem like a well-spoken, educated individual. Why would you ever call Washington a communist empire, communist state, etc.? It's because it's a sardonicism. I'm being sardonic, and that's the point of it. So that's it. It's just that simple. It's just humor. I realize it's not a communist state. It acts and behaves like one. It really wants to be North Korea here. But yeah, that's my answer. So it's just a sardonicism. I am heading on over to the Bainbridge Fire Department headquarters. I got some leads that there are some unsafe conditions at that fire department. All right, here we are at the Bainbridge Island headquarters for the fire department. It's right there. They got a helicopter pad over there, a nice little path and a bench sitting area right here. Beautiful little path. Look at this. I love these stone paths and whatnot. As can be seen here, I did receive a response to my public records request from the Bainbridge Island Fire District that does acknowledge a spill, but it doesn't appear to be in keeping with the magnitude of spill that my source was referencing, so I will continue to look into this further. Good afternoon. I'm hoping to submit a records request.
Submit a records request?
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Let's see if we have that documentation. I'm gonna have to go, but there's that pen.
Okay. Got a pen and paper, please?
I need to go right now.
Okay.
So.
How's it going? Good, how you doing? How did this just land and I literally didn't hear it? I was inside. You must have a stealth helicopter. That's too cool that you landed. I didn't hear it. I mean, I don't have the best hearing in the world, but geez. I was literally just back here getting some B-roll footage about the fire department, and then all of a sudden you guys are here. I was like, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool if the helicopter was here? Yeah. Do you guys just like literally relax here all day waiting?
No, we're waiting. They're on their way here.
Oh, okay. I was like, that'd be pretty chill, just to
yeah, right.
hang out.
Yeah.
How many? How often do you guys, if you don't mind sharing, how often do you guys go out to save people?
Oh, a few times a day at least.
A few times a day.
Are you videoing right now?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a journalist working on a story here. So, are you guys based out of here, or do you just go everywhere?
Yeah, we're based out of Bremerton.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow.
Yes.
This is super cool. What's the maximum speed of this?
It's like 150.
159.
I run 150 roughly.
Yep.
Well, I hope I will never ever require your services.
I hope so too.
My understanding is it's always the worst kind of thing, right? Is that basically how it is?
For the most part, yes.
Gosh. That's nuts. Wow, this is really cool. So why is this like housed like it is in the back instead of just having blades?
Just engineering. Yeah, I'm not an engineering guy, so unfortunately I wouldn't be able to answer that.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we're gonna go to work right here.
Oh, fair enough.
in a second.
I'll leave you be. Have a good day. Yeah, likewise. Have a good day. Okay, well, I have got to get some of this really great footage here. I mean, this is going to be cool. It's going to get loud here in a minute too. So that's the airlift. They're going to have, I guess, someone coming out, and they're going to be I do not know how I did not hear.
Who are you with?
What's that?
Who are you with?
This is with myself.
Okay, I need you out behind the gate here.
Why would you say that? There's a pedestrian path that takes you right back here.
I need you out behind the gate.
Yeah,
we're doing airlift operations.
Totally understand.
Right
That's
now.
what I'm here to get some photos and video of.
Behind the gate, sir.
Yeah, this is totally lawful for me to be here.
We need you behind the gate.
It's lawful for me to be here.
We
I'm
need
not
a
going to
safety perimeter.
I'm not going to interfere at all.
Do not move from here.
I'm not going to. Hey, calm down. Just relax, okay? Jeez. Gosh. I just gotta get so bossy about everything. Like I want to get right next to the helicopter when its blades start spinning. That makes no sense. But I do want to get some video and photo of the helicopter.
How's the pictures going, man?
Not bad. Actually, yeah, I was here to do a public records request. I was kind of partially getting that done, and then I have no idea how that landed without me hearing it.
Yeah. You're totally cool filming, doing everything you're doing. If I could just have you behind the gate, that way then the helicopter can take off and load. It's a safety thing for FAA and all that. So
I don't understand what the problem there is. This is like a pedestrian path right here. It comes right through.
I understand this whole area from this fence all the way to this gate is all our landing zone area that we need for the FAA for we need 150 feet of clearance. So you're good to be right behind the gate. You can film and do everything you want.
Well, hold on a minute, because like that gate doesn't matter if it's 150. Where's 150 feet?
I'm not trying to be. I'm just if you're there at the gate or you're there right there is fine. We just gotta.
Yeah, but where's 150 feet at, man? Because seriously, I want to get some good photo and video here. And this is a pedestrian path. That's for vehicles only. That has nothing to do with coming on
I'm not
site.
gonna argue with you. It's just if you get any closer than this, I can't. And I got a trauma system.
Okay,
guy. I got to fly to Hartford.
Look, I'm going to take your word for it. As soon as it takes off, I'll finish my stuff back there.
Totally.
All right. All right. So they're actually loading somebody up from that ambulance over onto the air flight, and they're going to take off here in a minute. I have no idea how I did not hear them landing a moment ago. It's got to be super quiet, but well, he's saying 150 feet's here, so we'll do that, and then we'll finish off our story back there in a minute. But we'll wait for this to take off. Well, Corporal, how you doing?
Howdy.
You been doing okay over the last year?
No complaints. Deputy Chief says it's closed at the gate. It's employees only past the gate.
You feel it's best to call people with guns to throw me in a dungeon?
No, we're throwing you in a dungeon. I just thought that maybe they could entice you to answer questions more than I could.
What's that?
How did you want to conduct a felony take? Oh, so I have to... do you work for the government?
I do.
Okay. So I have to identify?
I would like you to identify.
Oh, you'd like to? Okay. Yeah, never mind.
No, I'd like to know, or I would like to maybe ask you to leave the property or something. I mean, I'm not sure what exactly you're doing.
How's your deputy chief doing? A little bit more squared away on the trespass statute now?
Well,
that's good.
Oh, camera's on. Yeah.
Sometimes they print those pocket criminal handbooks in Mandarin, and I don't know how to read it, so who the heck else would be able to read it, right? I mean, I don't know if you guys...
Mistakes happen like that. Those Mandarin copies.
Yeah, I was actually here doing something completely different, and I was like, when I was walking up to the front door, I was like, oh man, wouldn't that be cool, if there was the helicopter here? Because I just think those helicopters are cool. I walk outside, and somehow it landed. I'm like, how did I not hear that thing? It's like an Airwolf helicopter. Well, you guys are too young to even know what Airwolf is, probably.
Airlift?
Airwolf.
Oh, Airwolf, yeah.
Right? Sound familiar? Airwolf? Early 80s?
No.
Super attack helicopter?
No.
For some reason, there was always anti-American armies just spread all throughout America in this TV show, and it was only this guy in this Airwolf helicopter that could solve it. I'm like, that's some total Red Dawn fail right there.
And it was like a TV show?
Yeah. It was,
Okay.
as a kid, if you watch that, it was like the coolest kid TV show.
I mean, anything with attack helicopters is pretty sweet. So
now I know you're going to do the right thing and go search that on YouTube tonight. So when you do,
100%. How are you? Yeah, I was a big fan. I was Marine Corps prior, and the air wing was always pretty cool for us infantry guys.
Yeah,
you're like, I wish I chose that instead of this.
Yeah, those help. Oh, there we go.
Yep, launching.
All right, we'll see how loud this gets. Well, whoever that is in there, I wish them the best, because that's an awful situation to be in. Here we go. There they go. I mean, seriously.
They're sweet.
I now understand that that is the Führer bunker for Bainbridge Island, because that thing was dead quiet in there. I didn't hear anything. I could have heard an ant fart in there. Yeah. It was totally dead quiet. So, well, you guys have a good day. I gotta go finish my story back there. All right, take care.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, hey.
Thank you.
I don't want to stop someone from getting that care. I just wasn't sure where the line was, and if that's the line, it's 150 feet. I just wanted to get the best.
Yeah, I mean, that's the exclusion that they recommend. You know, they say they want like 150 feet.
Sure. No, yeah, I don't want to stop someone from getting their care.
Around there. I don't remember the...
So your boys had to run off to go get some life-saving stuff done, I'm guessing. So for somebody, I would like to submit a public records request, but there wasn't a pen. So if I could just submit that to you verbally. It's a pretty straightforward one. I'm just looking for any records, responsive records regarding any spills, leaks, or overflows regarding that for the last 2 years.
Okay.
That's it.
Let's go back to the front and we'll see if we got anybody upstairs that can handle it. I know they have an access point on our website to do all that too. Just for your information.
Sure. No, that's totally cool. I just happen to be here. Are you guys actually city or are you a district?
We're a fire district.
Are you the headquarters?
We are.
Well, then I have a second thing I need to do.
I'm limited to what I can do for you, so...
Sure.
Let me, we'll go over there, I'll have you wait, and I'll see if anybody's up in the front office. Not, I can get a hold of my deputy chief, and he can, I think he's available, so...
Sure.
He can
problem,
give me a minute, right? Give me some time. You know?
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, and I have also additional good news for you, Corporal. as I had said last time we met, I also come again bearing no RPGs, grenades, or other ordnance. So.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, Officer Pepicelli, how did you want to do the felony takedown here?
What's that?
How did you want to conduct the felony takedown?
There's no felony takedown.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for like Black Hawk, air assaults, and repelling police officers. Nothing like that today?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You never know. Do you have a business card I could get?
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I got them in my car. Do you mind if I get them
walk
real
over
quick?
there. Uh-oh. Nah, you're
just
pulling
my
one
car
over on me,
we roll in
Pepicelli.
doubles.
Here
We
it
roll in
comes.
doubles,
Here it comes. You want to bet $5 he gets out with an RPG?
We haven't met. I'm Officer Bill.
Hey, I'm Steve.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
Hit number.
Cool. Well, hopefully you guys got some good feedback from the people who were watching that story when I released it last year. I think they really enjoyed our conversation at the end down in the motor pool area.
Yeah, no complaints.
So, good. Well, that's good. I like to make sure that the coverage is fair and reasonable. I mean, there are crappy government employees and there's good government employees. We had a great conversation on that.
It's a rich tapestry out there.
It is a rich tapestry. That is the most polite way I've ever heard someone say.
Diplomatic.
There's really crappy people and really good people.
Right.
You guys have a good day. Take care. Thanks. Just had to chit chat with him real quick because I was working on a story at Public Works last year and ran across him and his coworker and had a really great conversation.
Cool.
I think it put a good light on the Bainbridge Police Department. So.
Yeah. Let me run upstairs, see if I got anybody that's upstairs, and then if they are, I'll have them come down. And
You got if you want to let them know, whoever it is. So I want to make a request, but I also want to inspect the Public Records Index.
Okay. Public Records Index.
Yep.
I'll let them know if they're up there.
All right. Thanks, Chief.
Nobody's up there.
Fair enough.
So I'm gonna. I know we have a written form to request the records, so I'm gonna go pull it up real quick out of our database, print it for you, and bring that up for you to fill out.
I think I have one. I just couldn't find a pen earlier.
If you got one, and then as far as the index, I don't know anything about that because that's not my purview. My deputy chief's making some phone calls and see what we can do on that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I can wait here and just find out what's going on.
There isn't anybody available that could come in and do that. I don't know where it's at or where it would be listed, so our finance handles that. You're happy to you're welcome to fill out another form requesting it, or if you can give me your contact information, they'll contact you in the next week when they come back to business after the 3-day weekend. They'll have it all available. You can come back and you'll have all free access to look at it all. But I don't know where it's at. I don't have any access to it. It's not in my wheelhouse. So there's nobody available.
And I totally respect that. I mean, if you're not aware of something, you're not aware of something.
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to dog you at all, man.
No. I get it.
I just want the right people to be here.
You don't come across like you're trying to trick me here.
Oh, no, no.
So let me ask you this then. So I will happily leave my the email address is on the record.
Okay, perfect.
But I do want to be clear about something because it really matters a lot. I'm not doing a public records request for the index. It's just a tool that you use to aid you in making a public records request.
I understand.
So what I'll do, if you wouldn't mind passing along to whoever it is, your PRO, just letting them know if they would email it to me, I'll be fine with that.
Okay.
I'm going to assume you guys have one. If you don't have one, that won't be okay because I'm supposed to be able to inspect it now. But I'm going to assume you have one. So if you wouldn't mind having them email me the records index, then when they get back Monday, that'd be fine.
Okay.
That work?
Cool. Absolutely, man.
Let me get this strap back on. And
absolutely.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Hopefully
Beautiful day, man. Hope the ferry ride is nice because you were coming from the other side of the water, right?
Oh no, quite a bit south.
Okay.
Quite a bit south, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, they're...
Let me just make sure that I can read your email address on there.
Hey, fair enough. I have notoriously horrific handwriting, so I won't be offended.
Anonymous Citizens US or
WA.
WA.
WA at protonmail.com.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll let you know and
cool.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, look,
we try to be as transparent as 100% as we possibly can, man, because it's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
All right, you take care now.
Hey, take care, man. Thanks. Have a good
By
night.
the way, who's the district attorney, as in like the fire district's attorney?
I don't know the guy's name.
Is Brian Sneer sound familiar at all?
It could be, but I don't know if they're still using Sneer or not. That I don't know.
So you've heard the name.
I have. Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Take care.
All right,
Have a good weekend. All right. right. Well, you know, I really think the battalion chief is a straight up guy. You know, a lot of times on stuff like this, I just have to go off of my gut instinct. I mean, he doesn't have anyone there that can get it together. They probably reached out to Brian, and that's what's up with that. So we'll see how that goes down. But that's it here reporting today for, well, a few things. I went back there, got some B-roll footage. Didn't see any evidence of any spills or anything like that. Caught some really cool footage, unfortunate though it may be, of the helicopter over at the helicopter pad for medevacing someone who is terribly injured. And then got the request for the index in. So this is the headquarters right here for the fire district here in Bainbridge Island. You can see it right there. So this is, I mean, huge. You can see how many bays is that? 6 bays. And, you know, it's really big inside and whatnot. So really cool fire district. The battalion chief was really cool. Hey everyone, I am free. It's June 11th, 2025. I'm in the city of Bainbridge Island here in Kitsap County in the Communist Empire, Washington State. Heading on over to the Bainbridge Island Fire Protections District. I'm heading on over there to get a copy of the resolution for the meeting tonight. I went in a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks, and that did not go well in terms of they did not have a resolution. I asked the battalion chief for the fire department to then produce a copy of the index by email. The public records officer reached out to me and said they don't have one. They're going to be discussing it soon.
Hello.
Hey.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking to speak with the records officer.
Closest person to that is me.
Fair enough.
Here you go.
I know there's a resolution that's going to be discussed and addressed tonight. Correct. Regarding the records index.
Correct.
So is it fair to say that the index does not exist at this moment?
That's correct.
Okay.
Are you the gentleman who emailed us before?
Yeah.
About 10 days ago or so?
Yeah, roughly around there, yeah.
Yeah. No records index exists at this point, no.
Okay. Is there a way to get a copy of what's going to be proposed tonight?
Sure. I can run you one.
That'd be great. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Actually, my computer's enabled. I can get you a copy. This is my card, by the way.
Thanks.
I'm the gentleman who's been emailing with you.
Okay.
And I'm about to send you the request on the fuel spill
Thank you.
Question in the back. I'll have that to you by Friday.
Oh, I think the issue becomes, since you haven't passed the resolution now, it would be harder to escape the liability if you knew better. So are you guys still going to pass the resolution tonight?
That's up to the board.
Yeah, we can certainly bring up your concerns with the board.
Yeah, I would love to be here tonight. Like I said, unfortunately, I have to be somewhere else at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. But I mean, we can bring up the fact that you were here and you brought that to our attention.
Yeah.
And at least it's in front of them, so they're aware of it.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. Well, here's my hypothesis. This is my working hypothesis. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think once I started saying, hey, you have to not only list the undue burdens, you have to provide the extent of the undue burdens. I think attorneys like Brian Snore, this is just my hypothesis. I have no evidence of this because it's all attorney-client privilege stuff anyways. But going off of my work in this story long term, I think it's them saying, well, we need to get the calculus done because that is in fact what the statute says. But then it calls into question, then why wasn't that advice being given before? Well, it's because they weren't reading it correctly. Maybe they didn't want to admit that they had given bad legal advice in advance. Now, I'm not an attorney, but again, I don't think you have to be an attorney to understand basic English. You can just read the freaking words on the paper there, and the word extent is just a simple noun. It's the degree or scope of something. It explains, it describes the object. And so in this case, the object being the undue burdens. So anyways, that's it here today. I think I've got what I needed. I'm proving that, you know, this is a serious problem here with transparency with the Records Act. And as I've said before, I don't think the fire department's some big bad group of people or anything, but at the same time, I'm looking at this saying, well, I think this problem goes wide and deep in serious transparency issues within the state of Washington at every level of government. And I think that's where we're at with things. So with that being said, I'm done here at the Bainbridge Island Fire Protection District. I'm going to move on to the next story here shortly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next location. Bye for now. Well, congratulations. If you have stuck around this long, you are going to hear the exciting and fantastic world of search engine optimization, keywords and phrases being stated by me. I'm trying this new approach in an effort to see if it will help reach new people who have not seen my content. So thank you for sticking through all the way to the end for this very exciting SEO keywords and phrases audio clip. And remember, if you support government accountability, realize you do not need permission to record in public, and support this journalism to catch we the people's public servants violating your liberties, you can join the movement by standing up for your rights by using your camera for protection. Remember, do not let someone else's feelings override your constitutional liberties. First Amendment audit, First Amendment auditor, cop watch, filming in public, public photography, police audit, civil rights audit, constitutional audit, filming cops, public employee accountability. Freedom of the press audit, government transparency audit, cop gets owned, tyrant, cop exposed. Public official meltdown, unlawful detainment, cop violating rights, do not talk to cops, police fails audit, detained for filming, illegal arrest caught on camera, tyrant exposed, shut down by the law, cop loses it, Karen meltdown in public office. Police accountability, law enforcement transparency, government employee misconduct, qualified immunity, badge number refusal, unlawful search and seizure, rights violation, abuse of authority, refusing ID, public records access, FOIA request audit, know your rights, what to do when detained. Filming police legally, recording in public law, First Amendment rights explained, how to file a complaint against police, legal to record government workers, public sidewalk rights, is ID required by law, open government laws, can I film in City Hall, must see police encounter, unbelievable cop behavior, you won't believe this audit, epic audit fail, gone wrong audit, never seen before reaction, wait for the end, triggered public official, body cam footage released, he regrets confronting this auditor, City Hall audit, police station audit, courthouse audit, DMV audit, public library audit, Sheriff Department audit, Post Office audit, Federal Building audit, Public Park audit, Fire Department audit, School District audit, reasonable articulable suspicion.